Don't you know that from coast to coast, where there's dope, there's hope, where there's dope, there's hope. Sheesh. Wait, is it lit? Don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
cats and dogs, and
squirrels,
bitches and niggas.
Bitches, niggas, rats, scutters, all of that shit. What's going on, man? What's up, people?
Man.
How y'all doing out there, man? You know it's a lot going on, but we've been through a lot already. This shit ain't nothing new to us. Apparently it's a lot of people out there that didn't know about a lot of things, but it is what it is. I ain't buying too much of it, but hey, It's your boy EarthTone.
And it's your man Peasy Peas.
And we here with the Herbal Tea Podcast. All right, Peasy, I'm gonna need you to jump onto it. Get on, be ready. Let's go. Let's click it. This time in a little off. You dragging a little bit. I'm not feeling it.
I don't know why you and your pastel flowers
there we go.
Calling me out
there we go.
Right now.
There we go. That's
you
what I
already
need.
know I'm in these
That's what I
streets.
needed. That's what I needed. All right, I'm just making sure you there, checking the pulse.
I'm here.
Hey,
I'm
you know what it
always.
is. It's your boys, the Herbal Tea Podcast, episode 12, man. Can you believe it?
Episode 12, man. You know what that means? That means we 6 months in. We are like
crazy,
halfway
right?
through the year.
Halfway through
strong.
the year. What a year. Oof.
Give it up to the people for, showing us so much support.
Consistently rocking with the kids. And, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep bringing it to you, especially for the Q Plus community.
Sure.
Which,
now more
we
than
have
ever.
Affinity towards and we are members of. And we're going to get right to this shit. It's a lot of music coming out, man. I know we said it last episode, but I'm really impressed and proud of all you artists out there doing y'all motherfucking thing. Ain't dropping a beat, ain't missing a beat. Y'all putting this shit out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Lil.
Whether we like it or not, y'all are working. So kudos to y'all. And we're going to get right to the shits, man. So who do we got first on the docket?
All right. First to the stage.
Yeah, bring them up.
Doom. DDM. Step up on the floor.
Shit. Oh, let me get a visual for the people. Show the people what's going on.
For this
visual
nigga.
for the people.
Get this nigga.
Shout out to DDM.
Visual.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Let's bring him. Man.
Let's bring him on. Okay, we're going deep. All right.
Let's go.
Check this out. West Baltimore-based rap artist who began in earnest in talent shows and rap battles in the late 2000s and early 2010s, earned his chops due to his charismatic stage presence. Formerly known as Midas, just Midas, DDM actually stands for Dapper Dan Midas. So you already know what that's all about. He made an addition
to the...
Absolutely. When he was signed to a local label in Baltimore, Mania Music Group, he went viral after a video of him in a battle with another Baltimore artist, A-Class, went up viral on World Star Hip Hop. And
World Star do it for you.
I did some digging. I had to dig for that motherfucker. I found that shit.
The video? Oh shit.
I did find the video.
Shit. Did you watch it?
I did watch the video.
Oh man, you gotta send me that, fam.
It was certainly a fucking. It wasn't even that much of a battle. It was more like
a slaughter.
A slaughter. It was a slaughter, like slaughterhouse type shit. Like the nigga came through. We're gonna get into that later.
All right.
As an indie artist, he's put out a handful of solo singles, mixtapes such as Legendary, Killer Queen, and a mixtape, Winter in the Tin Man's Heart, before forming the duo Bond Street District in 2014, then dropping their album in 2016, A Church on Vulcan, in 2016. He launched his video podcast, Secretary of Shade, and it's available on YouTube. And in 2019, he issued his debut album, Beautiful Gowns. And now that brings us to now 2020, where he's got the Ballad of Omar EP, released on May 22nd.
I actually have a fun fact.
Fun fact. You got some fun facts. I got some fun facts.
I got a fun fact. Okay. So you mentioned his podcast. He has Secretary of Shade.
Right.
Which I thought was an interesting play on words. But it speaks to the political nature of the show. He's talking about politics. He's getting in there. I saw an interview where he was talking about pretty much like the 2016 election and how everything went down, and just being wrapped up in the whole media coverage of it and kind of getting into politics that way, being interested by the dramatics of it. And Omarosa, she put out her book around that time, I think, when Trump had let her go and all that shit. It was a controversy. Everybody know about that shit. But he loved the book. So he started doing like readings of the book, and that shit took off and it turned into, the podcast. So, hey, shout out to him, man. I think that's pretty dope that he took on, because, us colored folk, Black people, we don't really feel like we've been treated justly on the side of the government, on the side of America, politics, all of that shit. It always seems like that's not our game. Like nobody who's running ever seems to really have a real interest for us. Shout out to President Obama. We love that. But that was more of a symbolism of like, damn, yeah, we could actually do it. We out here, we up in the White House. But then look where we went right after that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? We have a lot of mistrust when it comes to politics. So it's great to see a dude, especially a Black dude, Black Q+ artist, taking politics and breaking it down in layman's term and then giving it to his fans so that they may be able to be, more informed and digest it and get into it, because we do need to be into this shit. It's the way the world works. It's the way our nation works. But it's easy for us to kind of shy away from it and be like, nah, I ain't into that. I ain't voting. I ain't no boo-boo. But then once you see people like this who you could actually relate to on different levels talking about it, it's like, oh shit, well, maybe I could, let me see what this is about. So shout out to him for that.
For sure, man. And that's really what it's all about. That's really why I enjoy, just us doing it. And platforms like his is bridging the gap between people who are in our generation and the political process. We're willing to dive into that. We'll get into that later. Yeah. But I want to give you another fun fact about DDM. DDM is somebody I met pretty much when he started breaking into the scene. In fact, I performed my first show, I guess, as an out artist outside of where I was from with him. I was invited.
Talk about a fun fact.
Right. I was on stage with him at a Freaking Queer Festival, which was happening in Philly. And I was invited by the headlining band. At the time, it was Sergeant Sass. And he was there, and we were all friends. And, they invited us on stage to kind of like break us into this out hip hop LGBTQ
That's
plus
hard.
scene.
That's
so
hard.
That is how far my memory of him goes.
So wait,
back.
y'all both did like solo joint? Y'all performed together, or?
We both did solo joints. We actually have a song together that we did with Swanee after the fact.
Get out of here.
Absolutely.
You keeping shit under the chest. Like, let me hear some.
I'm out here in these streets, man, but it's on It Is What It Is, Volume 2. When the beat drop, Volume 2, Swanee's mixtape, me and DDM got a song together on that shit.
That's hard. That's hard. I gotta hear that.
I go back with DDM, but I have not seen him in some years, so that's the thing. Yeah. But I do always remember his music. He's like a kind of an unforgettable presence.
That's what's up. That's dope.
But here we are in 2020 with the Ballad of Omar EP. And
so wait. Let's break it down. Intro the product. When did it come out? How many songs? Let's take our time with it. Relax. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so Ballad of Omar, it is an EP. He did call it an EP. It's 8 songs long, May 22nd, 2020. So pretty much not
8
that long
songs,
ago.
24 minutes. That's under a half hour. So you know how we do.
You'll
Easy say it's an album. I say it's an EP. But that shit is an EP.
It is an EP. It is an EP. Well, he called it an EP, so I guess I should call it an EP.
It's
too.
an EP.
But listen, should I just get into the rating?
Get into it. I mean,
for me, the rating is definitely a 74% loud.
Oh shit, 74% loud.
I'm gonna break this down.
You've been so petty lately with these 1 percentages though. Like, what's that? You was funny, my nigga.
It's a 74% loud. I'm gonna tell you why it's loud.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Okay. First of all, rap bars, this is the thing that I always remembered about him. His bars are not to be fucked with because he comes from the battle rap arena. And so that means his punchlines are like wicked and they're kind of really like direct. He got a real blunt voice, big presence, flow. It's very East Coast 90s. It brings you to that era. And that's pretty much the flavor of the album. So that said, because he's giving you that kind of 90s life, it also has some points where it falls short, just like those same 90s albums. Like the things that you liked about them, very much there, but some of the things that you didn't like about them are there as well. Like repetitive hooks, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes beat choices that don't really work, but that he would try anyway. But that's really kind of what it is for me. So I fuck with at least 3 of these songs. Okay. I'm gonna just give you, my favorite.
What was your favorite? Yeah, what was your favorite?
My favorite is Door Knockers. Door Knockers, door knockers. Run up with the chrome, blocker, with the Biggie sample. Yo, I yelled so loud, and then that bass line is so fire. Listen,
fam, it makes so much sense that we're in a rap group together. I'm gonna just say that, but go ahead, keep rapping, go ahead, keep doing your thing, go ahead. All
right, bars. Let's listen. Fiends copping in bulk like it was Costco. Death coming threes, so I'm shooting free throws. Shit like that. That's like classic Biggie. Biggie spit like that. He got those.
It's like a 1 bar punchline.
It's a 1 bar punchline.
You don't need a setup. It's no setup. It's just setup. Like, here's the line. Eat that.
Bah! Right to your face. And then several of those, and he paint a picture. So it's multi-layered in that sense. So basically, he really painting a picture of where he comes from, West Baltimore. He's giving you how it is to grow up out there, and he's giving it to you from the perspective of a working class Black male who is also LGBTQ identifying. So I think it wins just on that. And we all know the reference to Omar, who was like on a mainstream show called The Wire. Omar was a openly gay drug dealer, if I'm not mistaken.
That nigga ran the town.
And basically, that's kind of what that's what the whole EP is kind of. It's not. It doesn't specifically address him, but he relates to that character in that there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of background. There's a lot of things that come together that he relates to, that he's kind of bringing different perspectives on, that kind of paint the same picture that you was given when you're watching a show like The Wire. So I really fuck with that, which is why I fuck with the title track as well, The Ballad of Omar. I like the samples, the different samples he uses throughout to kind of tell the story. The interludes, that kind of does it for me. That's what gives you, that's the best of like East Coast mid-90s hip hop in a nutshell.
Those transitions with the interludes, like how they tie shit together.
Tie everything together. I could give you way more punchlines, but we'll be here all day.
Yeah, come on. You already went in. Like,
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go.
Can I get some? Like, let me get a little bit. Nah, I'm fucking with you. Okay, so you gave it what?
I gave it a 74 loud.
74 loud. That's a pretty fucking decent grade. Listen, man, I've been calling the fire trucks a lot lately. You know what I'm saying? I know they got me on their speed dial, so I'm gonna have to call them niggas again, man. Come through,
nigga,
come through with the motherfucking fire trucks. 90%.
90%,
and you know that's and you know what that's teetering on. You know
it really is.
On. And I'm gonna tell you why. I got a lot of this. I share a lot of the same sentiments you do for this album. It's definitely very 90s. And you made a point where you said like some of those 90s albums is like some of the drawbacks to those albums were like a lot of like the repetitiveness, maybe some of the lackluster in the production. It's not as big, it's not as vast. But aside from that, those were probably the only two nitpicks I had on this whole project. Other than that, I thought this was a flawless rap album. And when I say rap album specifically, like I want you to pay attention to that. This is a flawless rap album. He's not singing on here. Ain't no auto tune. He not doing no hooks. He not trying to harmonize. Ain't too many melodies. Like this is a impeccable rap album. All right. So Door Knockers, that was my favorite shit too. That's my hands down my favorite. Like when you get an ill, you know I'm a sucker for an ill break beat. So them drums just boom, 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 boom. You don't even got to put nothing on it. If you could spit, then you know what to do with that beat.
That's all you got to do.
And he knew what to do with the beat. That's that right there. Known to handle bitches like I be at the vet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a 1 bar line that I don't need no setup to. Ain't nothing got to come after that. I say that and you already get like, ooh. Like, ooh, I heard that right there. I was like, ooh, okay.
And that's how he come at you the whole album.
But that's that battle rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? History. Like when you got that in your bag, like those just come through. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you nice with it. And then you got the joint Swivel, which I really
head on the swivel.
I really fucked with. Like, it's the queen on deck. Excuse my manner. I get love from the DJ like Stephanie Tanner. Come on, my nigga. Come on. Stop it. Like Full House. Like who referencing Full House lines like that though? Like that ain't even that's an obscure Full House line. Like you got to know who Stephanie is. Like everybody know DJ and you know Cut It Out. Like all of the top characters. But Stephanie, wasn't nobody really fucking with Stephanie like that. And to throw her in the bar. Come on, fam. You know I appreciate that, but everybody not gonna be able to appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be from a certain. You had to
from a certain
raised
era
on Full House to even like register that line. Shit. So it's hard and it's dope and it's slick, and I fuck with it. And then what he's talking about is just like he broke. It's a concept album, which I appreciate. That was another plus that I gave him. That was like because I broke down like the negatives I had about it, but everything that's positive about this album kind of outweighed that for me, and then it just kept outweighing it. Like, damn, like Boys Don't Cry. Like, come on. The interlude for that is just like. You know what I'm saying? You go into that, and then that's a common sentiment that we hear, especially amongst Black gay males. Like, you raised in a certain household, like we don't play that shit. Like, you ain't out here crying, ain't no pussies. We not raising no. Nah, you got to get out there and fight for yours. You got to do what you got to do. If you get beat up out there, I'm gonna beat you up. You ain't coming in here crying. You know what I'm saying? That's a common sentiment. That's that toxic masculinity shit. We can't cry. We can't show emotions. People grew up on that shit, and he's going in on it. Just like that. You know what I'm saying?
Your ass again.
Yeah, but then so Door Knockers was my number one. My second after that is the Ballad of Dante. My God.
Oh,
Come on, bro.
God.
This song right here sounds like he just ripped a page out of his journal and was just reading it and over some jazzy ass melodic. Come on, he telling the story of like, and that's where the whole Omar thing kicked in. Like that's why I say I appreciate the concept album from it. Because first of all, the cover, the nigga put the Omar scar on his face. Like, I thought that was his face, but Omar has that scar. And then I saw other pictures of DDM. I'm like, oh, he don't got that scar. He did that for the cover. So that's even more into the whole conceptual part of the project. Then he's from B-More, so it's like it makes even more sense. The Wire was shot in Baltimore. And then it's like Omar, a gay dude from the streets. DDM ain't no chump. He's been out here. You see the interviews where he said in West Baltimore, you gotta learn how to scrap, you gotta learn how to dress, and you gotta learn how to talk some shit. And he does all of these.
Stuck up by dykes.
Yeah, so he does that well, and he brings it across, and it all flows so smoothly. I definitely agree with you as far as I felt like if some of the production on here was a little bit more strong, and he kind of like not took more risks, but kind of just varied it up a little bit, I think that would have took this project to a moon rock, to keep it a buck for me. for that one reason alone, it wasn't too many songs that I was like, I gotta hear over and over. Like Door Knockers was the only one I added to my playlist, and I'm like, yo, I play that like on some getting up in the morning when I'm about to start my workout. Like it just get me hyped. You know what I'm saying? But I loved a lot of the other songs, but I don't necessarily need to hear them again. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard him, I got the message. His performance and the content is outperforming the production for me in a lot of cases. And the production was ill. Like he set a tone. The sound was dope. He gave me a lot of like Public Enemy's producers, the Bomb Squad. Like they have a lot of that edgy industrial drum driven production, but this just wasn't as elite as their shit. Like if it was on a different level, it would have just been like, yo, this would have been a clear moon rock for me.
It'd have been if he'd had like RZA involved or some shit, or like
he just needed an extra little sprinkle, just an extra little sprinkle on it,
a little bit of clout.
I think he would have took this project like to the next level. But I mean, other than that, man, I didn't really have too much time, and I haven't. This is like he's leaning into the topics. He talks about like now he like into the basketball players, so he, you know what I'm saying, like he just tells his story blatantly, unapologetically, and like you have no choice but to feel it. And like you say, he got the delivery, he got the voice, he got the cadence, he got the patience, he got the punchlines. Like as far as rapping, is not really anything I could take away from him. The only knock I had was a little bit of the production, and the production wasn't even that great. Like a few of these joints, like I would pick myself, you know what I'm saying? But for the rest of them, it's like you could have switched up and stepped it out. So I gave him a 90% fire. Hey man, firing aloud, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? We smoking right now. Firing aloud, you get your fire. You get the loud, and you gotta have a fire to smoke it. So like we smoking out here, man.
Just go get that shit. Yeah, go support that artist.
Shout out to DDM, man. Go check that shit out.
Shout out to Dapper Dan Midas.
Ballad of Omar, streaming on all platforms right now. Go check that shit out, man. All right. So next up, number 2.
Next up, who we got?
We got Mrs. Butterfly Fields. Shout out to Butterfly Fields. And let me just say, I love that name. That's such an ill, hard, little name. It just has, I don't know what it is. It has so much to it. It's just a dope little name.
It really is.
Shout out to Butterfly Fields. She's a Q+ singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm. She grew up in a military family, actually, so she kind of moved around a little bit, but she grew up between Georgia and Florida for the most part. She did a stint in Atlanta, the ATL, where she, did most of her schooling, I think high school, middle school. So she grew up in Atlanta and then went off to college in Florida and then ended up making her way back to Atlanta. And let me just shout out Butterfly Fields for one, having a website, her own website, and also having a bio up there so I could readily find this information, which kudos to you, because like we always say, that's one of the things that's lacking with the Q+ artist community. Guys got to get these bios up there, get some information up there other than just your photos and your music videos. But she definitely did that. She has that. Her dad was a DJ. So he introduced her to a lot of, different genres coming up as far as music. And you could hear it in her style. Like she's influenced by a lot of different genres. It's not just like soul. It's not just hip hop. Like she dibbles and dabbles a lot. She has 4 brothers, and one of them is her twin. So she is a twin. She has a twin brother, which I thought was dope. I don't know why. I'm always fascinated by twins. I think growing up when I was young, I used to want to be a twin and shit. I had these twins that I went to grammar school with, and I used to be jealous of them niggas because I wanted a twin. But anyway, yeah, she has a twin. And then once she moved to Atlanta, she actually linked up with another fellow Q+ artist that we're familiar with, Noah, Kim for Life. And there's somewhat of an item, I believe, as well as a musical partners. So they do a lot of music together.
They're definitely an item.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
She is.
I mean, she's in her bio. She put her in her bio. So like they're an item.
I missed that. I had to watch the interview, which I'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. What do you know about Butterfly Fields?
Fun fact. Okay. So as we just established, Noah from Kin for Life and Butterfly Fields are an item. So while Noah says she's zaddy because when she opens her shirt up, she has no cleavage. It's a blank canvas. Titties never met. They're strangers. On the opposite end, Butterfly, wild cleavage. Tatas are best friends, homies, quote, because they together all the time. And as such, crazy energy, crazy throuple request. Because, indeed, they are a beautiful fucking couple. Like, they are
Wait, where
gorgeous
you getting
women.
it? Is that an interview you read? Where
This is an
coming
interview.
from?
This is coming from the podcast. What is it? Chats with Nick.
They was getting to the shits.
They dropped a lot of knowledge on that shit. And it's all stuff that we even try to put out there. But just generally looking at that interview, you see her energy, you get her vibe, you get how they vibe. And they really on the same wavelength that that we're on and that a lot of people that we fuck with are on. It's just beautiful.
I love to see that. I get a little nervous, especially when it's like early on, because they're they moving as one. So it's like when you see that, it could be a little codependency start to develop. But hey, I want to see them kind of do their thing, and I want to see where it's gonna go because their chemistry is ridiculous. But sure. Shout out to Butterfly Fields, shout out to Noah Kin for Life. So they got this jam they put out. So it's I believe it's Butterfly's single, but like I said, they've been putting out a lot of music. So they pretty much moving as a duo right now.
It's basically their third single together. So I don't know if they have an EP coming out, but I do know that they have 2 other singles together and videos, and they're about to drop a new video for their third collaboration.
And I'm sure
the day after this podcast come out.
I'm sure whatever EP they put out, they're both gonna be on it. So
you're right.
This track is called "The End of the World," featuring, like we said, Noah Kin for Life. It came out on the 22nd of May, 3 minutes 21 seconds. Pretty standard length single. You know what I mean? They threw this out. I think it's the lead single off the EP, maybe. Listen, man, I'm gonna have to tell you like this.
What's going on?
I gave this shit a moon rock, B.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. Fix your wig. You know what I'm saying? Get it right and collect your thoughts. Yeah, collect your thoughts because we about to get into it. So I gave it a moon rock 95%, and I mulled this over. Let me tell you, I'm not giving out the moon rocks like water. We're not doing that. But I mulled this over, man. When I first heard this track, I listened to it like 10 times back to back straight, like just off of the sound and to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And then I really got into it, and then it was just like I was done, man. It's super infectious without being like corny or annoying. It's a vibe. It's a vibe and a half. You know what I'm saying? Super vibey. The production is dope. The content is so timely. It's just like what's the chances that we're in the middle of a pandemic and we gotta the shit looking apocalyptic, to keep it a buck. It's looking like we might be heading towards the end of the fucking world with the shit that's going on now. You know what I'm saying? And then for them to drop this shit in the middle of that, it's just like, yeah, fuck all of that. But like, if it's just me and you, we good. You know what I'm saying? We gonna survive it, whatever it is. We don't need no bunker. We don't need nothing. If it's the end of the world, I just want to be with you. Like, that's it. If I got you, we good. And that's kind of the vibe they on. And you could hear the chemistry in the music. Like, you could hear it. And then they're both super talented. Like, Nora just raps her ass off. Her cadences, her flows. She produces as well. I think she produced this joint. So she's just nasty, period. And then Butterfly Fields, like, her voice, she's nasty as well. Like, she can kind of spit. Like, she sings, and then she like, oh, no, but I can sing. So I'm going to show you I can sing, too. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, they're just effortlessly cool. Like, they just two cool, artistic, groovy-ass chicks that just dope. They love vibing out and making music. And I still can't stop listening to this fucking song. I don't even know. I can't even pinpoint exactly what it is that got me so crazy about this song. But it's just, I don't know, the sound of it, the vibe of it, and then the fact that they got off and talk they shit. Like they kind of talking to each other in their verses, and they just knocked it out the park. The hook, like she ain't said, if it's the end of the world, I wanna be with you. If it's the end of the, it's like a chant. It's almost like a infectious, a hypnotic chant almost. And I'm just like, I can't get enough of this shit. I fucks with it. So that was my grade. I gave it a moon rock. 95%, man. You know what? And one of the things I wanted to point out, it feel like, because I fuck with The Walking Dead. I watch The Walking Dead a lot, Fear the Walking Dead, all that shit. That's my shit. I'm into the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, all that shit. This shit sounds like the anthem for like the only couple that survived in the apocalypse, and this is the love scene like on Walking Dead, and they just like doom, doom. That shit comes on, yo, fam. I don't know what else to say, man. Shout out to Butterfly Fields, Norkin for life. Y'all fucking did that. Moon Rock, 95 motherfucking percent. What you got, Peasy?
Yo,
follow that. Follow that.
Nigga,
yeah, follow that.
Nigga gave it up.
What you want me to do? If I see, that's the thing about me. If I don't fuck with your shit, I'ma go in. But if I fucks with your shit, I'm also gonna go in. You know what I'm saying? So hey, you gotta give it up. That's what it is. You gotta give it up.
This is what it is, man. All right. Shout out to EarthTone with the second moon rock coming from
you know, hey, man.
I mean, this is what it is here. Hey. It's a beautiful thing. I can't necessarily even front on you with it because I woke up this morning and this song was in my head because I was listening to it on repeat as I was researching this girl like 100,000 times. It really is a vibe. Damn. It's like it's quarantine bay vibes. It's Valentine's Day vibes. It's date night vibes. It's all vibe, and they have such good energy. Like I don't know. For me, like. I guess the reason why it gets to bump up more is because I was able to see them and I was really, because that's how I know if they real about it. You know, I hate when people give a vibe and then you see them either in person or you see an interview about them and it's just not it. It's not connecting. There's something going on. Yeah. Artists that's out there that's really like that, but they are not that. And I really respect them for it, which... To be honest with you, maybe I should reconsider. But my rating. But
it's crazy that plays a part in how you hear and digest the music, right? Like the shit is important.
Big. Yeah. It's big. It's big in how it does. Yeah. All that said, I gave it a loud 61%. Okay. And here's where I'm kind of a little shaky on it. As well as I love the ethereal tone. I love the vocal samples that Norkin uses in her production. Like if she produced it, she is a beast. Totally up your alley, EarthTone.
That's my. You know that. You know that. You know that.
Y'all need to do this. Bro, y'all need to go ahead and
I think that's why it's so like I can't even put my finger on the why. Like I'm so crazy about this song. Like I love the song, but it's like they ain't doing nothing crazy that I never heard. Like it ain't like the best technically done song ever. It's just like, yo, y'all
probably just vibe the same kind of way. I think it's the type of song you would do anyway.
Absolutely. What?
You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is, you know, songwriting is pretty straightforward. She got away with the repetitive hook. She got away with it because she gave you a real dope harmony. Yeah, because it's so vibey, so it works here. I still am not necessarily sold with the repetitive hook situation. I feel like there could have been something else there. Yeah. But, you know, that doesn't mean it takes away from anything because the song is just dope. And the verses themselves, Nor killed her shit. Like, you know, Butterfly, you know what I'm saying? They both, like, obviously vibe well together. And they're probably referring to each other, but it's a universal thing. So, therefore, you know, there's good and bad. It could come off a little simplistic. Yeah. But really and truly, this song really is excellent. It's excellent in the way that they executed it. It's in the actual rawness and the true power of just their union together. They obviously complement each other very well. Absolutely. And I really can't say enough good things about the song. But those were just the things that I thought could have, you know, been improved upon. But that was it.
Hey, that's
Still
how I
vibe
go,
with
man.
the record. Still do it.
But see, that's why it's so interesting because it boils down to your personal preferences. What you looking for in music? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Are you all about the beat? Are you all about the sound? Are you looking for that content? Do you need punchlines? Are you into songwriting? Depending on what you're into, that's gonna have a big play into your rating. And we sometimes tend to prioritize different things when it comes to music. So
Absolutely,
I think that's where it
absolutely.
falls as far as the music wise. But like you could see, like we saying similar things about the music, but then the ratings are just different, on different levels because we prioritize different things in our music,
How we
which is
weigh
nothing
things
wrong
out.
with that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Go get these girls.
they got one, man. I don't know what else to say.
Go get these girls.
They fucking got one. Shout out to Butterfly Fields and Norkin for life.
Shout
the
out
end
to
of the
them.
world. Listen, I want to be with that song if it's the end of the world. How about that?
I know.
I need that on my
that's
playlist.
right.
Let's do that.
I would bop it if it was the end of the world and I had that.
Let's do that. All right, so who do we got next, man? Let's keep it moving.
Oh man, let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Next we got to the stage Fab the Duo.
Oh, shit.
New York-based pop rock duo who are, biracial male couple,
Interracial. I don't know about biracial.
Well, okay,
one person is biracial.
I actually got that from their bio, so maybe they, interracial couple.
Well, they
sure.
could be biracial, each of them. I don't know. They might have.
Well, I've seen the picture. One of them is definitely
one of them is white.
black.
One is black.
One definitely black. So that's really what it is. But at the end of the day, couple come together as a group, modern day Sonny and Cher. This is what they said in their bio.
That's
they're
big.
But they're both Cher.
It's a bold claim.
It really is. It really is a bold one. But they're both Cher.
They both Cher. I like that. I like the little twist. I like the twist.
That's what it is. They
cute.
both come from small towns. I actually don't know who's who because I couldn't figure out who, but their names are Greg Driscoll. That person grew up near Austin, Texas, and the other person, his name is Brendan April, I believe is how you pronounce it. Don't shoot me if it's not. But he's from Bennington, Vermont, and they've been performing together pretty much a year or two after they got together in a relationship. They put out their first single in 2018. American Icon. They released 3 more singles after it. And they're preparing their EP, which is called Our Love is Resistance. And
it's coming out this week, I think.
It is actually coming out the day after this podcast comes out, the 19th. So there's that. And this EP, this song is going to be on the EP, Stubborn. Oh, and fun fact, Fab is actually an acronym for fierce ass bitches.
Okay. Well, there you go. Look at that.
You know what it is.
There's a lot going on.
You already know what it is. It is their debut EP. And the song Stubborn was released on May 15th, 2020. And I'm going to have to call Mr. Reginald Miller to the goddamn stage right now.
Reggie.
Please come get this song. Come
Reggie.
get him. Come get him.
Sandman, get the Sandman out of here.
Come, your
Sandman from the Apollo.
From the Apollo. Come get these bitches.
Not Sandman. Damn, that's how
Please.
you feeling? What did you give him? Legend or what? What's the
song.
percentage? What are we looking at?
I gave him a 22% Reggie.
Oh, man.
And here's the interesting thing about these guys.
Well, wait, when did this come out?
This came out May 15, 2020. So here's the thing. I did a lot of digging for these guys. I did because, they're out there. Like they've kind of established, they have articles on Billboard and Access Hollywood. So they kind of got a look going on. Yeah. It seems to me they're signed to a production deal with the guy, I think is, I forgot his name, JC. Sonic, Mr. Sonic, or
JC Sanchez from NSYNC?
No, not from NSYNC. Not from NSYNC. Not from NSYNC.
Nah,
that's not it. That's not it.
I'm about to say they got it moving. Shit.
Mr. Sonic, and the production company is distributed by Sony Latin, which is interesting because the producer himself has a lot of credits as a producer for Latin music.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the thing that I'm talking about. This is kind of where my rating comes from. The producer, He's dope. You know, quality production. That's what you got from this person. And that's kind of really where it ends for this particular song.
Yeah.
Because the songwriting really, really suffers here.
Oof.
It really was not fleshed out.
Damn.
It was not fleshed out enough because I was confused as to where they were coming from with the stubbornness. I was trying really hard to understand it. And if you have to try hard to understand, it's
the
like
songwriter not doing their job.
It's not doing their job. It's like if you have to explain a joke, no, then it's not funny. So that's kind of really what's going on here. And I really, really, and the production, that's the thing. Like the production was pretty dynamic. You got a bridge set up, you got a breakdown set up, because great things could have been done. And they kind of harmonized okay. If that was massaged a little bit, if they took a little bit of time, or if they had an extra ear, because it looks like they're writing their own songs, they're arranging their own songs. But if they had a little bit of extra help, it probably could have went a little bit further. But that's not what happened with this record. I was really struggling, and I listened to this many, many times. So much to where I had to go back and listen to the other stuff that they listened to. They definitely have put out other material.
Yeah,
you should check
absolutely.
it out. And it's not on the same, it's not consistent.
It's different.
They have some good songs, but this one is not really on that level. So Reginald, all being said,
Reggie
come
Miller.
to the stage,
Reggie
get
Miller
this
for
song. Get this song, please. I can't do it.
God damn.
Do it.
Well, listen, I ain't even gonna hold you. We share the same sentiments. I gave them a little bit of an extra nod. I gave them a mid, a 32.
Okay.
32 mid. And it was because you hit it on the head when you said they harmonize pretty well. Like they don't sound bad together. I hear that theatrical and that Broadway influence, which I saw that they are heavily influenced by Broadway.
Absolutely.
It's very like extra pronounced and accentuated. You know how the Broadway shows, those songs are different. It's not like a regular song you hear on the radio. Those songs are different type of production. Those songs are made to go with like theatrics, and so this is kind of what that gave. Yeah, this is what that gave me, and it sounded more like a cover or like a play song, like a song that will be in a play or something. But this isn't something I want to listen to on a regular basis. Like I don't want to hear this in my playlist. And then, like you said, as far as the lyrical content, I kind of got where they were coming from. It's two guys, they're in a relationship. One of them is stubborn and reaches out to his partner, and he might have a closed mind and might not be as open to certain things. And then the partner was like, well, yeah, I am stubborn, you're right, but you could be a little bit too, kind, which it could be a gift and a curse for you. And I'm stubborn because I don't want to let you go. Like, I got it. It was cool. It was a cute little sentiment, little ballad. But I didn't get none of that emotion. Like, none of that came across in the tone of their voice. Like, I didn't hear them. I didn't hear that passion. I didn't hear nothing that made me feel anything other than this was like a generic, like, cover, like, karaoke type joint. Like, I feel like anybody could have made this song. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't really stand out to me like that. But it was decent. I do like the fact that they're a couple and they're in a group. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty dope. And an interracial couple at that, an interracial Q+ couple, that's a big deal just from a image standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta have that music to go along with it, because if it don't, then you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna have as much as an impact as it should. And this song really wasn't it for me. But I'm gonna definitely be checking out the EP. I can't wait to check out some more of this stuff. I saw a few other videos they put out, and they were cool, very different from this song. This is kind of like their power ballad. But yeah, man, I wasn't wild. I wasn't too impressed.
I wanted to make a point about the production a little bit more, because all of their songs are produced by the same person. Now, this is my caution to artists out there that are watching: choose your producers wisely, because sometimes you can get wrapped up with the fact that, oh, this person has Grammy credits, this person's signed, whatever gloss that this person might have sold you as, to kind of get you to work with them for whatever amount. I'm not saying this really pertains to them, but it kind of feels like that this kind of was going on. you gotta be really wary about who you choose to help you produce or produce for you, because everybody's sound ain't necessarily made for you or your voice.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got a producer here. This guy with this particular sound, it's great production quality. You can tell that he has some industry experience, but the song,
it just might not be a great fit.
Fit them. It didn't even fit them. It kind of sounds like it could be a Taylor Swift song.
It sounds like a cover. It sounds like they were doing karaoke.
Cover. Yeah, like they were trying to pass this off as something.
Yeah.
So I would just say caution to that, and that really kind of hurt them as far as this is concerned. And I wish them nothing but, you know, the best as far as their...
I mean, they on the radar. I want to hear the EP. We're going to be checking it out. And we definitely encourage everybody out there to go check it out and make your own opinion. You know what I'm saying? Fab the Duo, Stubborn, out on all streaming platforms. And look out for the EP dropping tomorrow. So, hey, shout out to them, man. Listen, at the end of the day, they still doing it. They working through the Rona.
Still doing
putting music out, you know what I'm saying, during the pandemic. And we appreciate it. We see you. They doing their thing in New York City. They've been getting some notoriety. I saw their website. They got a few write-ups here and there. So they making some noise. They making some headway.
For sure.
Shout out to them, man. Fab the Duo. All right. Well, that covers our Q Plus segment for the day.
It does cover it.
Who the fuck we got supporting us? Who's the ally for the day? Like who on the team? Who on the bandwagon?
Who on the team?
You know what I'm saying? Who's showing love for the kids out here?
Who's showing love?
We got none other than Miss Katy Perry. What's up, Katy?
What's up, Katy?
What's going on? Everybody know who Katy Perry is. Like, come on, unless you've been living under the rock for the last 10 years. Katy Perry, singer-songwriter from Cali. She actually pursued a gospel career before dibbling and dabbling in this secular music. She put out an album, I believe. She put out a whole album that kind of flopped. You know what I'm saying? She was born in San Bernardino. So she's from there, but then she ended up moving out to LA to pursue a career in the secular music after the whole gospel thing kind of flopped. Which is always interesting to me that, you know, when people go from gospel to secular music, but you know, that normally is reflective of their upbringing and their parents. You know what I mean? Apparently from what I've read, she has some super religious parents. Like they couldn't even eat Lucky Charms as kids because the word luck reminded her parents of like Lucifer. It was too close. Like they couldn't say deviled eggs. As kids, they had to say something. It's just like, so they was on that type of time. Yeah. So I could see her feeling like she had to go into religious music and then be like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm ready to get with the shits. So she moved out to LA, started doing her thing. Everybody knows the song, I Kissed a Girl. I kissed a girl and I liked it. So she blew up off of that in 2008 after signing with Def Jam. The reason why she's an ally, she's spoken out in support of the Q Plus community on several occasions. She actually worked with the Trevor Project back in 2012, and they do work with at-risk youth, LGBTQ youth, for crisis intervention and suicide prevention. So she reached out to them. They actually gave her an award from the work she did with them. So shout out to her for that. We definitely appreciate that. She didn't come without any controversy, though. Like, as I mentioned, she had the song I Kissed a Girl, which a lot of the Q Plus community, they kind of looked at that sideways. It was a lot of, like, lesbian fetishizing in that. So they was kind of like, she's not a lesbian. So she was kind of playing off of that whole, you know, how the straight hetero community, they love girl-on-girl action.
Straight
so
white male
giving them that.
gaze.
Yeah. So, you know, she was playing into it a little bit. And then she had the song You're So Gay, which they talked about had, like, homophobic undertones, and I listened to it, and at first I thought it was like a shout out to us, but it was kind of like she was pretty much talking to her man like, nigga, you gay, and not because you like dudes, like stop being a pussy. That's pretty much what I got from it. But I mean, hey, it's music. I didn't see it as her bashing, and since then she's definitely stepped out on the ledge for the Q Plus community on several occasions. So hey, listen, if we could give Nicki Minaj, who said she was bi and then switched and said, nah, I believe in the Bible. What the Bible says is right. If she's an ally, then we could give it up to Katy Perry. So,
she got a whole underbelly on her arm.
Yeah.
But
and
we'll
I feel like most people do at the end of the day anyway, because how can you truly understand unless you really live this life and you're a part of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with the allies, but it's a little different on this side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hey, shout out to Katy Perry. I mean, I know you know who Katy Perry is. Do you have anything that I didn't mention that you might know?
Well, Miss Katy Perry, I don't know if you've seen the video for the single we're about to release. It shows a very pregnant Katy Perry. She got to be at least 5 or 6 months in the video for Daisies.
Oh, she definitely got some mama weight on her.
She kind of, she's in the video and she's surrounded literally in a field of daisies.
Well, she had a social distance. It's just her and a bunch of fucking daisies.
Well, yeah, that's really what it is. It's kind of cute, and it kind of looks like a homemade video.
What, social distancing? She probably shot that shit in her backyard.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
You
know she live off of a lake somewhere. Right. Like, come on.
Yeah,
and
that
was light.
She had a little waterfall.
That was light work.
She took off her gown. She showed her belly. She was barefoot and all of that. And it was kind of cute.
Come on, man. Gotta do what we gotta do. Can't get a studio and all that, so fuck it. Let's go to the backyard. Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of a better play on it than some other quarantine, made videos. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. All right. But with that being said, so she dropped Daisies. It came out May 15th. 2 minutes, 53 seconds. Decent joint. I gave it a loud, man. 75%. I really like this song. Like, I like this song a lot. I be fucking with Katy Perry. Like, most of her, like, the lead singles, like, I've never listened to a full Katy Perry album. I wouldn't say I was a fan like that. But I don't know. This shit really hit me. And she, like, her performance on it, first of all, it's a dynamic pop ballad. I like dynamic pop ballads. I don't know why, but I like when they go low and then had a high moments and then give you all that. Like, this is some shit I could see like her perform at the stadium and people gonna go crazy. It's one of those inspirational, empowering ballads. The content is real strong. Yeah. The thing about these ballads is you don't really have to say much. Like, you have a certain key phrases that you need to bring back and repeat. And then you give them her verses were like 2 bars, and then she just go into the hook, like. But it captured the sentiment of what she was trying to get across. She's pretty much like, look, they not gonna change me. They not gonna make me feel uncomfortable. They not gonna make me feel embarrassed of who I am. I'm gonna keep doing me, and I'm gonna keep being me until I'm 6 feet under. That's the sentiment of the song. But she puts it in a pretty, a more eloquent way over some dope production. And it's just like, come on, like, this is just, it's very formulaic, but it still has a little bit of that soul and that edge to me, especially when she takes it up to the daisies. I can't even hit that, but like, how do you get up there? And then she just going up there like light, like this is light. Yeah,
that's her range.
Hold that octave real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Katy. She did that. I fucks with it, man. I thought impeccable vocal performance, great production, inspirational lyrics. It's Katy Perry, 75% loud, man. I ain't really got too much more to go in on it.
You gave it a 75% loud?
75% loud.
Oh. See, you calling me out for being petty for giving them borderline things going on.
What? I did it one time. You went and did it like 80 times.
Oh, no.
You done did it like, and you giving the one, you would have gave it like a 74 or something. Like, nigga, this is 75. Listen, don't judge me on my ratings. Loud, 75%. That's what I got.
You know what? A lot of the sentiments that you pretty much brought up are basically the same as mine. So for this song, I gave it also a loud, but I gave it a 68%. Basically for the same reasons.
See? You see?
That you
yeah.
I gotta come through with that.
But she hit it out the park, man. I like this really, a lot.
She did. Like, okay, listen, because this remind me, Katy Perry and Demi Lovato have a lot of
common. Oh my God.
Like, their voices are like,
especially now that Katy throwing a little bit of that mama weight. Like, so they kind of like around the same. They look the same now. Katy got the short. She got the shortcut now. Like,
yeah. On, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of got the same. They going gunning for each other. So I really like it. Like, I like that stuff. I like when Demi does it, when she control it, because it seemed like Demi want to carry. Katy knows when to do it and when to pull back. And that's why I give her points for that. It is a formulaic pop ballad, and I fuck with it too because it's just enough to
but
get
that's
the
why
point across.
That's why the formula works. It works.
It works. It's exactly what you need, and to me, it gave me like a hard reset of what you expect from Katy Perry, because you got this Katy Perry like back in Teenage Dream, except now it's a bit more stripped down, not too produced, because before, you know, she kind of went, maybe she would go a little over the top with Firework and Roar, and was big, it was loud, and you knew when she was coming. And you need
those too, but like...
And you do need those too, but she also started facing a little bit of backlash for kind of going the same route and kind of doing pretty much the same things and kind of appropriating some cultures in the process. So, you know, that right there kind of gives me a little bit of why she would give me a song that kind of reaffirms her sense of who she is. Now, that said, we all know Katy Perry is kind of not necessarily the most equitable when it comes to her attention given to the things that she's done in the past, not really admitting to some of her sins of not being really sensitive to different cultures. And it's just really interesting that this song came out a week before George Floyd had passed away. And before that happened, Katy Perry was all about her American Idol gig, and she was all about this single, as she should be, but she was pretty much into whatever her image was. And then now you look at her Twitter, is she's celebrating Breonna Taylor's birthday. She's giving it up for the youth and doing all these charities and all of this stuff like that. And that's, so I kind of I just thought that pivot is strange considering her history.
You got to pay attention to it. You just got to, you know what I'm saying? You look at it with a little different eye.
And that's it.
Because that whole trendy shit, like all of the artists jumping on a wave, that's kind of just residual impact from just everything going on. Like motherfuckers that ain't even in tune with what's going on, they gonna hop on it just because it's trendy. So that's why I'm kind of like playing the back and waiting for all of that to die down to see who left standing after the trend,
still having
after
that
the
same
wave
energy.
passed. Yeah, like, but hey, nonetheless,
the song is there.
Yeah, she's utilized her platform to support the Q plus community in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And there's other artists out there that wouldn't even do that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it up when you see that. And she has an extraordinarily large platform to be doing that on. So, you know, we appreciate it. So we got two louds, man. A 68% loud and a 75% loud.
Yeah, there
Shout out
it
to Katy
is.
Perry. Go check that
Shout
shit
out
out.
to the
Deez.
Katy Cats.
Now streaming on all
Perry.
platforms. You know she got an album coming out. She ain't just gonna drop no Lucy. She don't do Lucy's.
No,
so this is gonna be on something coming out soon.
Her fifth album is supposed to be coming out. Has a date right now, August 14th. But you know, she's also gonna be delivering a baby pretty soon. That baby about to pop out. Yeah. So we'll see how she feel around that time.
Yeah. You know how the pop artists they get that out. They pop the baby out and then go on concert. Like,
oh yeah, wow. But
she
you
ain't
know
doing
it's
no
different
concerts
now. We ain't doing that now.
Well, she gotta sit still anyway, so she good.
Exactly.
By the time we see her again, she gonna be right. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. It don't take no much. Hey, shout out to Katy Perry, our ally of the day, and shout out to all of the Q plus artists we reviewed. Man, you guys are killing this shit. We are very impressed. We are very honored and happy to review this music and give you guys a platform that you all well deserve. So shout out to you guys and shout out to everybody listening and tuning in and watching to the Herbal Tea Podcast with your boy EarthTone.
And your man, the real PZA.
And speaking of, you know, a lot going on, what's fucking going on in the streets, man? What's cracking out here? Man, what's the word out here? What they talking about? You know what I'm saying? What's on the agenda? You reporting live. What's going on, man? You was really out in the streets.
I really was. Like, let me tell you something. These streets really is still on fire. They're gonna be like this for the foreseeable future. Yeah. But I had the chance to participate in the goings on with the protest last weekend. I got to see a couple rallies. One of them was going on in downtown Brooklyn. I thought there was one in Prospect Park. I get there. No dice, but it actually happened the day after. So kind of was a day early, but I ended up being in Bushwick. I was with a couple of my homies. We was out there. I was there to see the vibes, what was going on. And it's dope. Like I live for that kind of environment. And I live for that kind of fervor. I really like that energy. And
it's something about that, the energy, the connection that you feel with like a crowd like that, that's all feeling the same shit, that's all kind of emoting the same energy. It's just like, it's different. Like that, those marches are different, man.
Yeah, these marches are different, but I'm gonna give you the real tea. My opinion on it is like, okay, we as Black people have been marching for a pretty long time. I would say at least 50 years. We've had our fair share of marches and then getting attacked with water hoses and clubbed with bats by police officers and really kind of giving it all the way up for our rights and kind of bared the scars of all of this shit. So when I see a whole bunch of white people doing it, I said, good, keep going out there, keep gathering.
Yeah, about time.
Go ahead and get that energy, keep doing it. I'm tired. I'm going to sit my ass down. Because we've been doing it for long enough anyway, so y'all should be out there. So it's not really, that's just my feelings on it. But of course, anybody that's out there, definitely give respect to y'all for going out there to do it, because it's not really an easy thing to be out there really on the front lines anyway.
It's really not.
And, you know, it's personally, like, I got injuries. I really got to cool it anyway, so I can't really be out there as much as I would like to, but I wanted to see it, and I'm glad I like what I saw.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's where we at. Shout out to the protesters. But elsewhere in these streets, Billboard Pride, Todrick on the cover. You already know. Shout out to Todrick. Just, you know, being a brown boy, kind of representing for our kind of conversation. Yeah. Shout out to you doing your thing. I might, you know, it is what it is.
He's had a little bit of controversy over the last few years as far as him not really repping the way he should be as far as like his platform. But the thing with us, like, we've been so down for so long, like just us being in certain spaces is not enough, but it's enough. You know what I'm saying?
It makes a statement.
Yeah.
It makes a statement.
So like,
and I think that statement is powerful in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's all it is. All right. Let's see what we got next on the. Shout out to Goldie.
Hey.
Shout out to Goldie Doll. Yo, I love this chick. Love this chick.
Love Goldie.
She dropped the video for Mind Control. Go support that. You already know. It's Matt Eye Candy. We reviewed her on the podcast. Stress.
Hey, shout out to Goldie Doll, man.
Yeah. Love her whole vibe. I really fuck with it. So support Goldie Doll. She just dropped her Mind Control video. It's out there. On that note, we were just out at the Ghost Project fundraiser that they had. That's going to be coming out real soon.
Shout out to Man-Made, Pink Gorilla Entertainment, Ghost Project.
Pink Gorilla Entertainment putting that together. They invited a whole bunch of artists to kind of do a live stream or kind of live performances in honor of the Ghost Project to help them raise some money. And it was a beautiful thing. It was beautiful to see everybody in the element, and everybody gave show. Everybody gave show.
Like, you could tell we was cooped up in the quarantine because motherfuckers came to show
ready.
out.
So fucking ready.
Performing that minute. Niggas was ready to hit that stage, boy.
Dog.
Yeah, let's do it.
Man, there wasn't even no nerves, none of that situation.
What? Light.
And as you know, or may not know, the Alliance came through. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Kids is back, made a little resurgence. Come on, man.
Made a little appearance. You know what I'm saying? Giving it up. So shout out.
Get the people some backstory to the Alliance. Who is the Alliance? A lot of people don't know who the Alliance is.
Yeah, you know? A lot of people. For those of you that don't know the Alliance, me and EarthTone are two of the four members. The Swanee River, Mr. B Hood now.
What up?
All in the group.
Yeah.
We came out we dropped our shit, hard body.
We like the Q Plus Slaughterhouse. Holla at us.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? What up?
I be on it.
What up?
And then we switched up real quick, gave them the prequel, whole bunch of bangers on there. And in short order, a month after that, dropped the EP, introducing the Alliance, got nominated at the 15th Annual Independent Music Awards for Best Urban EP. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we out here. And we even got the theme song from one of our joints
And
off
the
the
theme
album.
song
You know what I'm
already
saying? To the
off
Herbal
rip.
Tea Podcast. If you guys are familiar with the joint that comes in the intro, that's our joint, Tonic
That
Water.
is the Alliance.
The Alliance.
For sure.
Shout out to Swanee on the production.
And of course, as you know, we kind of did our own thing for a little bit. You know the story. And now we're back. We're killing shit. We're going to come back and kill shit again because we need to be back. And it's a whole lot of shit to say.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. And we definitely came through for the Ghost Project. That was fun seeing
That was
you
a lot
guys.
of fun.
It was beautiful. And you already know the vibes. Also, Pink, as well with Pink Gorilla Entertainment. Pink Gorilla, shout out to them making so many fucking moves out here. They just dropped another episode of Bugs and Chad, Pink Gorilla Effect miniseries that Bugs got going on. Check that shit out. Let's see what else we got on the docket here. Oh, after that, shout out to Nunu. Nunu keeping the vibes going.
Producing both shows.
Producing both shows. Producing The Circle NYC. Just dropped another episode. Episode 5 of season 4 of The Circle. Let's talk about what happened. I'm going to just give a couple of my, because it really wasn't a lot that really happened.
I feel like this was more of a setup for the next episode, I feel like.
As it always is, but really and truly, the main thing that happened is Melly B came back into the fucking picture. You already see where his tentacles stretched. And now, you know, everybody's taking sides of what it is because it's kind of a setup going on. You got Dwight and Melly on one side, and then you got Loso and, I think probably Julius.
Which we saw, what was that, season 2, the Blacks versus the Latinos. Yeah. They gearing up for another war of the skin tones. Like, all right, we see it. It's coming.
And now we pulling out Old Guard because apparently Melly is like, pretty much been on every season of The Circle since it fucking started.
Since inception. Except the first season, I think.
So, his old ass really just needs to give it a rest anyway. But apparently, people are still talking about him.
Well, that's why he's on the show. It's not. It ain't him. Motherfuckers are still. We talking about him right now.
We are.
Motherfuckers are talking about him. You got to give it up. Like, people want to see the shit.
That wasn't the shit that really, really got me. I just wanted to highlight that that's really where it's at right now. I like the scene of Tia and Aoki when they got together. I don't know what they're planning. They have some kind of show called Yas Queen. That they're trying to do it. And I think it's going to be something that highlights the different sides of transgender, women of transgender experience, maybe Black transgender experience. But either way, I want to see what that turns into. I want to hear shit like that. I want to see those type of stories going on and kind of see those things flourish. I'm interested in that type of shit. Not so much. Anyway,
highlight the shit you into and ignore the shit you ain't.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all.
The funny one, the main event, which was the boxers at Washington Heights, they had an event where they're supposedly showing the PSA. Fucking PSA.
Yo, I knew that PSA was a disaster from the first episode. Like, I knew that shit was gonna be a disaster.
I was just
we can't skate over this. Cause I almost forgot about it. Like, that was the most botched debut or release party that I've ever seen. Like, they let the DJ hijack the shit, and then they played the visual and they played the sound, which was the meat and potatoes of the PSA. How you gonna have a PSA with no audio?
Who told them?
Like, what you announcing?
Who told them? Who told them to get Waka to go and host? Like, really? First of all,
oh my God, why, Dwight?
She had nothing to do with the entire process. That was Dwight. Who in their infinite wisdom decided that was a good idea?
That was Dwight, because he ain't want nothing to do with the introduction of the PSA, because he knew it was a flop. So he had his sister go out there she was ready to jump on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
So he sabotaged the shit. That's the
no,
dumb
he didn't
shit
sabotage. He avoided sabotaging himself by introducing it. His shit was already sabotaged. The shit was a mess. You see, Shavis ain't even want to play this shit. He more so like, listen, the crowd is gonna show up at 10.
Nobody had even seen it.
He was like, the crowd showing up at 10, so we got to do this shit at 9:30. It's like,
yo,
that shit was funny. It was entertaining though. I had a laugh. Hey,
it was very much entertaining.
That's all. And that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for. Listen, if you ain't giving me the deep shit, you get the moments. You know what I'm saying, with Aoki and Tia, certain shit like that. But outside of that, this shit is a guilty pleasure, man. We out here getting entertainment. Ain't nobody paying attention to all that shit, man. Your panties in a bunch of all that shit. Fuck all that, man. This shit is funny. That shit is hilarious.
I'm trying to figure out why Shorty Rock of all people is going in there trying to
I gotta say I was disappointed.
Some shit.
I was disappointed in my nigga.
I thought that was.
I was disappointed in my nigga. That felt like a clout chase. It felt like a clout chase. It was like, Shorty, that wasn't necessary, my nigga. Like you went out of your way to pull him to the side. Just to like start an argument, ask some wild. It's just like you started out as mediating, but then you just like started.
Whose idea
Come
was
on,
that?
Shorty. Melly was looking like, wait, you wasn't even. I was like, I mean, you got a point. Like, come on, man.
That was probably the first
I was disappointed
time.
in my homie because Shorty the homie. Like, come on, man.
Like you ain't have to do that. You ain't have to touch any of that. Like, go away with that. All right.
It is what it was entertaining, man. I enjoy these shits, man. And maybe because I know everybody, so it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a little inside type of shit, but I'm looking forward. I want to see this. I want to see how this shit gonna unfold in the next episode because, like you said, you saw some of that tension between like Loso and
Dwight.
Yeah, and Dwight, and then before, like you saw the same tension between Melly and Loso and them, like on the earlier seasons, like they had the whole dark skins or the blacks versus the Latinos. It was very cliquish. So now, like you see that resurfacing again, and especially with what everything is going on, today.
I don't think that's where we need to be.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's interesting to see where it's gonna go. Like, how is it gonna unfold? Like, we don't need to be there, but the shit is there. You know what I'm saying?
There.
It's a lot of shit that shouldn't be, and it is. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the store the other day, and I'm waiting in line, and this nigga darker than me, bro. Like, dark skin.
Right.
Acting a fool, jumping in line. He had something to talk to with the store, the cashier. And then all of a sudden, I just hear him say, like, no, I'm not black. I'm Dominican. I am not black. Like, he was adamant. Like,
oh, that shit.
Like him being black was the worst thing he ever heard. Like, my nigga, first of all, you're blacker than me, and you're acting like you don't have no kind of sense, no kind of common decency. You sit in front of all these people. Most of us in line are black, and you just like, no, I am Dominican. I'm like, nigga, ain't nobody walking down the street gonna know you know Dominican. Like, you black. Especially in you Queensbridge. We're across the street from Queensbridge. Nigga, you black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, you Dominican, but for you to be insulted by like the rest of the cashier. That's a whole nother thing. But that's why that dynamic is always interesting to me because it's like that's some real shit that exists, and you know what I mean. It's important to see that shit. But
it is true. I didn't really think about it like that, but that's definitely a point. That's definitely a good point. So I'm interested to see how the thing comes out. Either way, I'm gonna be rolling my eyes the whole way. But
of course,
I still want to see it. So let's go.
But that's the beauty of the shit. Can't stop watching it. Guilty pleasure.
All right, next on the docket. So check this out. We got Richie Torres. If you don't know who Richie Torres is, he's currently serving on the City Council of New York City, which is the legislative body for the city. He is running for the 15 New York Congressional District seat. So he's also running for Congress as well, which is the majority of the 15th district is in the Bronx. And he, along with James Felton Keith, who we just dropped the Herbal Tea Lounge interview for just the other day.
Go check that shit out right now on YouTube.
You already know what it is. He is one of at least 60 other LGBTQ hopefuls vying for congressional seats this year alone. In total, we have, according to the LGBTQ Victory Fund, which is they advocate for queer politicians, there are at least 850 running for office at this moment in time,
That's
which
crazy.
is basically a record.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them with no previous political experience.
That's what we need, man.
Which
I'm all
I guess
about the motherfuckers with no previous experience, because the experience that you would have had, fuck all that. We need to throw that shit out the window anyway. We need to rebuild this whole shit. We need fresh minds. We need progressives. We need all that shit. Like, fuck
that's
these
the
old
whole
niggas,
thing,
man.
with the establishment. The whole thing that we want to get rid of them anyway.
It's time to flip that shit over.
Which I guess is maybe a positive benefit from having the president that we have right now, who had no previous political experience.
That's what I was talking about with the Obama. It was like, yo, we kind of got a taste of the promised land, and then they was like, oh hell no, like we got to snatch the rug from under these niggas. Like they getting too cocky. And then now it went to the opposite
side. And kind of got what we asked for in the process. But here we are in 2020, and we got a lot of hopefuls, and I'm gonna highlight a couple of them because here we are. First of all, we have more trans candidates running. One of them, more candidates running in states with no queer representation in office. As far as trans candidates, West Virginia. Shout out to Rosemary Ketchum. She is in the city council of Wheeling, West Virginia, Virginia, and she mounted a campaign, I think, maybe a couple years ago. But there are definitely more trans presence going on right now than there ever has been. And that just speaks to the need for the representation, because once you see somebody just like yourself going through a certain, process or on a certain platform, it inspires so many more, which is just underscores how important shit like this is. Shit like what we're doing is. We need more representation. So shout out to her. We have people like Mondaire James, who is running for the 17th district of New York, which covers basically a little bit of White Plains and the southern tip of New York that kind of borders New Jersey west of the Hudson. So we're talking about Spring Valley and West Nyack, that area of New York. Somebody, Mondaire Jones, he's running for Black and LGBT, running for Congress right now. So, we also have, I don't know if anybody's heard of this person, Paperboy Prince. Have you heard of Paperboy Prince?
I have not.
Paperboy Prince is an artist and an activist who is running for the 7th district of New York, which covers Greenpoint, Williamsburg, Bushwick, East New York. Basically the hood, the whole fucking murderers row of
BK. What up?
Basically that strip of New York. He's running. This guy's a young LGBT artist, and all I'm gonna say is he definitely has a lot of personality. No political experience, of course. Running against, just an older Puerto Rican incumbent right now, Puerto Rican woman, Nydia Velasquez, but he is an artist. Go check out his music, and you be the judge for if this person got it or not. But he's out there running. Go look him up. I did.
That's crazy.
He got some things to say.
A candidate for review? Is we reviewing something?
I think that I would highly recommend. I would advise whoever the connection is on the PR team for Herbal Tea, get at EarthTone. Get this guy on the line. So, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right. We also just had the 4th anniversary of the Pulse shooting, which happened on June 12th, 2016. 49 Black and brown LGBTQ plus people passed away.
That was 4 years ago.
That was 4 years ago.
God,
I remember.
Damn.
And I know Pulse because I used to live in Orlando, Florida when I was going to school, and I have been to Pulse a couple of times.
What? I did not know that.
Club, yes. It was.
That shit looked like one of them mega clubs. Like that shit was huge.
No, it really wasn't a big club.
Oh, wasn't
it? It was kind of like, it was
I guess the building or the outside of it.
It's just that I look at the building because it's closer to the downtown Orlando district area. So it kind of has a nice facade going on, but it was a pretty small club. But nevertheless, it was one of the few places that, you know, you could be LGBT and go and chill and party there in the Orlando area. That whole shooting, we already know what happened, and it was ugly, but the anniversary was the 12th. And unfortunately, on that day, we find out that our president, not my president, 45 eliminates Obama-era protections in healthcare for transgender individuals.
Of Obama.
So we're going to give that a big dislike. I'm calling this segment dislike. Dislike. Nah, fuck that up. Anyway, but we definitely dislike that shit. But on the other token, I woke up this morning to find out that the Supreme Court handed down their statement, their ruling on equality in the workplace for LGBTQ plus individuals. I'm going to give that a big like.
Huge.
With that. That is a huge. There was a 5-4 margin, and that includes Neil Gorsuch, which is one of the justices that was actually appointed by the current president. So I got to give Judge Gorsuch a little bit of props there for go ahead and going in with the right side of history.
A lot of his squad has been turning on him. Well, it's happening slowly but surely. It's gradually, but it's been happening.
It is. He was always one of those that was kind of one of those liberal conservatives, kind of like on the fence between both. He played each side. So, I'm glad that on this side, you know, he kind of sided with this side of his
history. That's dope.
I appreciate that so much. And, you know, I definitely respect it. And that is what's going on in these streets.
It's a lot, man. Yes, listen.
A lot.
And I appreciate that a lot of the shit that's going on and the things we talking about is politically charged, but it's in a different way. It's not, you know, in a traditional way that we used to seeing, like with Republican, Democratic, this, that, and the third. It's like, fuck all of that. Like, what's the real shit? What are your policies? Yeah. What are your real actionable items? What are you really gonna change? What do you stand for? What's important to you? What's your priorities? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you really gonna do for the people to earn our vote? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the things that really struck me about Biden when he said the whole, you know, if
you're not black enough, you're not black enough.
Yeah, like what? Like, how dare you even fix your mouth to say some shit like that? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but then these are our only two options. So it's like, all right, you got him or him. It's just like you picking your poison, which I feel like it's always been like that in America. Yeah, I feel like the candidates are always like that. Like, come on,
I remember
man.
It was Bush versus Kerry in 2004 when I was first able to vote, and I didn't want to vote for them.
It's like who? Like what? And I get why the largest population of people, or the largest, you know, the section of people are non-voters, people who don't even participate in this bullshit, because it's like a popularity contest. Yeah. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get as many of my homies to vote for me. You get as many of your homies to vote for you, and we see who's gonna win. But both of y'all are pieces of shit.
This is exactly why I want to make sure that I'm highlighting as many of these local representatives as I can. And I really enjoy the fact that I get to research how it works, how the legislative setup is for the city, and for how it works around the country, and how the judicial branch works federally and in states and in the local, because that's how you get informed about who you need to be voting for, where you need to be focusing your energy on. And that's really where it counts, because that's where the change actually happens.
I think that's where the ball is dropped. Like, why we don't learn that shit in school? Like, why we don't learn that shit at an early age? And it's like, I feel like most people don't get into voting and shit because they get overwhelmed. Like, you feel like it's just so much shit going on and you don't know anything about it. So you just like, fuck it, I'm not even gonna pay attention to it. And then you really don't. It's hard to feel the real effects of, all right, this person is president right now. Like, I don't really feel any difference in my day to day. Like, what kind of change is really affecting me? If it's not affecting you directly, it's easy to not pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you don't know what's going on, it's just not a good situation. We got to be informed, especially today.
I took an AP government class, and this was not until I was a senior in high school. So you mean to tell me that I could have been up on the, how the political process works and just learning about our government all the way until high school, but high school is really kind of where I started learning just a little bit about the politics. But I think this is something that needs to be taught early.
Adults.
Like you got the whole, remember Schoolhouse Rock? They were teaching you how a bill get turned into a law. You got those little cartoons. It'd be so much more of that
the
kind
bill
of
walking down the steps.
Yeah, like we need to be so much more of that going to learn how, the governments are set up and who represents you. That's the important shit.
But
like
see, that's systemic shit. Like they don't want us that informed. Like they don't want us to know what's going on, because then we're gonna get the leg up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's about. And that's why I always kind of point out, as much as we in the internet age and information is so accessible, motherfuckers be in a bubble and don't be like venturing out, don't pay attention to shit, and don't be knowing what's going on, or just don't care though. I can't say people just don't know what's going on, because there's too much information, there's too much out there. You have a fucking encyclopedia, dictionary, history lesson, all of that shit in the palm of your hand with your phone. You can Google any fucking thing. And you can Google it multiple times and cross-reference it with different people so that you could fact check and be like, okay, these three people are saying the same shit, but this one person is saying some other shit. Let me see if somebody else is talking like he talking. Like, you could do the research and figure out and find out what's going on. It's just a matter of being active, man. We got to be activated. You know what I'm saying? But for all these people out here acting like they were so naive and unaware and like boom, boom, boom. People do shit subconsciously, but come on, my nigga. It's certain shit that is just like, this shit has been going on too long for you to be telling me that you unaware. Like, you're a grown ass man. Like, what were you been doing? What have you been doing with your life?
You totally would not. You would not put in a. You were sheltered. You were sheltered from all of this, and then that's all you knew. But at the same time, you have your whole adult life where you've been around different people, and
you have to come across it. Like that's where I'm like, all right, in school growing up,
did you decide?
But once you leave the nest, my nigga, you've come across some shit. Like, cut it out. So, hey, it is what it is. That's the state of where we at now.
That's where we at.
And I'm trying to remain hopeful, man. But a part of me is a big skeptic with, this whole shit. I'm just like, we'll see. Let's see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see what happens when the fires cool down, the flames start shrinking a little bit, and the smoke clears. Let's see what's gonna happen after that. But we've been getting a lot of shit, man. I never ever remember the NFL director or the commissioner coming out and saying like he pretty much retracting his whole Colin Kaepernick. That's what once they rehire Cap, that's when I'm be like, all right. That's when I'm like, all right, wait a minute. We might really be like, you know what I'm saying? Because that was a big fucking deal. And I feel like us as a people kind of let Cap down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit ain't go the way it should have. He took a lot of the brunt of that. He still get ridiculed to it today. And I even remember that last little tryout he tried to hold where he changed the location and all that. People was ripping him for that. Like, if you really want to be in the NFL, you wouldn't be doing this. It's like, fuck that. They made my life a living hell. Now they gonna have to work for it. Like, I want to play, but I'm not willing to bend my back to do it. Like, y'all gotta, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm paying attention to that. That's what I'm kind of paying closely attention to, because that's a big deal.
The sacrificial lamb and shit.
Yeah, and football, them fans, they were the ones. That's where you started to see that these motherfuckers going crazy over the flag because he kneeling, totally negating the whole reason and the purpose behind it. That's like the motherfuckers today, like focusing on the rioters and the looters, but not realizing like what the shit is a result of. Like, where did this come from? We ain't just start
in the first place.
Like, niggas ain't just start looting. Like, wake up like, yeah, you know what? I want to loot. It don't work like that. So you gotta look at the root of the problem. So, hopefully that's where we heading, man. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm a hopeful skeptic.
I'm hopeful too. Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. Exactly. Yeah. That's where I'm at with it.
And that's why we in the same wave, man. Same wave. I hear you.
All right. That's what's going
on in these streets.
Damn, man, it's heavy out here. Shit. Well, you know what? When it get heavy, I like to have my eyes get heavy. My eyes go low. You know what helped me do that? And I smoke.
Man,
So we're gonna head over to the smoking section, man. What the
my
fuck?
favorite time
What's
of the
up, man?
hour.
What's
My
up? What's
favorite
up?
time,
Hey, y'all
man.
still with us out there? I know it's kind of heavy. You know, we've been getting into the shits, but we really appreciate you guys rocking with us. And this shit is important. You know what I'm saying? We living in the moment. We living in the current time. There's been no other time like this in history. Like even on the
Absolutely.
positive side, you see like the amount of countries that have been protesting, the amount of continents. Like this shit is happening globally, so it ain't just us. So it's going on worldwide, and we appreciate it. And we want to keep it going. But in the meantime, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna get into these trees, get into this cannabis, get into this weed culture. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need to decompress a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Relax, sip a little something, smoke a little something. So, you know, whenever we get up in the smoking section, you know what I'm saying? We got to find out what's going on. We got a question. There's usually some kind of query on our mind, like,
Right.
And I thought, like, damn, what's up with this oil? Like, what is cannabis oil? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Like, what is it? It's like you have different kind of oils. You could cook with oil. You know what I'm saying? You put oil in your car, fuel, gas, you know what I'm saying? But what's up with this cannabis oil? Well, I did a little research, you know what I'm saying?
All
and
right, Sherlock Tone is back.
Absolutely, as he is on every episode of the Herbal Tea Podcast.
For sure.
And I went into this cannabis oil, and what it is really oil is kind of a subsidiary of a concentrate. So really it's just cannabis concentrates, and there are different types of it. So a concentrate is any product derived from cannabis flower that is processed into a concentrated form. And you have several types. So we have a tincture. I always have issues saying that word. It's like tincture or tincture. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if the T is silent or whatever, but tincture. And that's a cannabis infused liquid taken orally under the tongue. So if anybody ever taken like ginseng or one of the herbal, supplements that you could take like orally with the drop, that's what a tincture is. So they have cannabis tinctures where you could take the little drops and, in a few minutes, get your little buzz on.
Okay.
So they also have capsules. So the capsules, everybody's taking a capsule before a vitamin. You got the cod liver fish oil capsules and shit.
Yes,
Similar to
sir.
that, but this oil is cannabis infused. So you take your capsules and you take it orally, and it takes about 2 hours to kick in. So it's kind of like an edible, but you don't necessarily have to eat anything. It's like you're just taking the little pills. And then you got your vapor cartridges. So that's like the vape pens. Everybody's kind of familiar with what those are. And those are cannabis infused oil filled cartridges that attach to a battery. So you got to twist it on. You can get you get the cartridges from the plug. You know what I'm saying? You can buy your pen or your battery from the store, and then you hook them up, and you good to go. You got your vape. So think e-cigarettes, but with THC in it.
Facts. That was me all 2019.
And then you got your hashish, which is pretty much like the concentrated organic material. So it's pressed concentration of the cannabis sticky glands. It's very potent, and it could be vaped, it could be smoked, or it could be dabbed. So you could use like the dab instrument. You could roll it up with a blunt, roll it up with some weed. People usually mix it, you know what I'm saying, blend it in with the flour, and you can roll you a blunt, or you could vape it. And then the fifth concentrate type is what they call shatter or wax, and that's like the little plasticky, sticky little plates you see. It kind of looks like toffee, toffee candy, but it's like clear and see-through. So you can see it, you could crack it up and break it up, and it melts. That shit is super high concentrated, and that's what they call like dabs. I don't know if you ever seen those dab videos, like when people first started dabbing, the dab videos where you'll see a motherfucker take a quick hit and the niggas just pass out like on some. I've never dabbed myself, and I don't really want to do it. It just looked like it's too much. That looked like, nah, I'm trying to mellow out. I'm not trying to pass the fuck out and be convulsing and shit with my shit. But that shatter in the wax is infused. It's oral. The oil is refined with carbon dioxide. I don't know what that does to it chemically, but these chemists, these cannabis enthusiast chemists, they be coming up with some other shit. So that's one of their concoctions. It's refined with carbon dioxide, very high THC, and it's ingested orally, or you could dab it. So those are the 5. You got your tinctures, you got your capsules, you got your vapor cartridges, you got your hashish, and then you got your shatter and your wax. And that's pretty much the different types of the concentrate. So it pretty much boils down to motherfuckers got tired of smoking the plants. You know what I'm saying? Niggas wanted to figure out, like, what can we do with this? Let's play around with it. Let's extract it. Let's break it down chemically. Let's figure out what we can do on some science shit. And they came up with all this shit that you could, different ways that you can enjoy your marijuana. That's pretty much what it boils down to. And a lot of people choose to deal with the oils as opposed to the plant and the flower because it's supposed to be, more healthy. You don't necessarily have to smoke it. Like I said, you could take a capsule and just kind of ingest it that way. You could do the vape pen, which is not actual smoke, but it's more of a steam, a vapor. And some people just, don't like the actual smoking mechanism. Like they don't like doing the action of smoking. They feel like it's more, it's safer to ingest it that way. And, to each his own. I'm not a big oil vape pen hashish guy. Like I like my flower, my plant. I'll do a pen every now and then, but another reason why people do it is because it's more efficient. Like your oil cartridge is gonna stretch you longer than like an A for trees. You know what I'm saying? So you can get a lot more hits. You get a lot more potency with fewer hits. You know what I'm saying? More bang for your buck. So a lot of people choose to do it that way. But when you're a smoker like me, it's more so like I need my blunts, blunt after blunt after blunt. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But shout out to all my smokers. Have you ever done any of the concentrates, any of the oils? I know you did the vape pen, but have you ever done hashish or the capsules or anything like that?
I didn't even know that there were that many forms of concentrates. Like putting me on, like that's blowing my mind. I actually kind of want to try all that shit just to see.
And they tell you to try different. Yeah, try it out, see what you like, see what works for you. Because you got the edibles and shit, but this is like different. This is like straight to the source. Straight shot, no chase, ain't no cookies, you don't need no pastries or nothing. This is just straight concentrated THC, getting down to the dirty shit, and you going right for it. So yeah, man, you should definitely try it out. And if you do, you know what I'm saying, you report back to the smoking section and let us know how it went. You know what I'm saying?
I think I will. I think I will definitely honor that. But my bowl has been doing me so good since that class.
I see. I need to give me a
changed
bowl,
my
man.
life.
Nah, for real. I need to give me a bowl because that shit stretches your weed too.
It really does.
Because I just be smoking blunts. But that shit, like, it take more weed to fill a blunt than to do a bowl. So that's a smart move. I might have to give me a... Listen, hey, my birthday coming up in August. So just in case anybody out there, I'm looking, just a nice little birthday gift on the list if you want to.
You know what I'm saying?
And I need an ashtray. I need an ashtray too. So since we're in the smoking section, you know what I'm saying? Holla at the kid. But yeah, man, that's what's good, man. So we got the cannabis oil. We done broke it down into 5 types. We let you know the reasons why people might decide to use the oil or the concentrate over the trees. And that's that. You know what I'm saying? A little food for thought. For my fellow smokers out there, happy Pride to everybody. All my Q Plus artists, all my Q Plus fam. You know what I'm saying? We tend to forget with everything that's going on. This is Pride Month.
This is Pride Month.
We got to celebrate with our colors, with that flag true and through. And we definitely here to represent for the Q Plus artist community as well as our smokers. So shout out to the cannabis culture. 420 all day. And I hope you guys learned something new today, man. You know what I'm saying?
I certainly did. I certainly did.
Well, if you learned something, I'm sure everybody else did because, you know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. That's how it go.
There's so much knowledge going on here. I mean, I love it.
I try, Well, with that said, we always like to end it on a high note.
You sure do.
I ain't really got no trees with me right now. I'm actually kind of trying to take a little hiatus. I be smoking too much, man. I smoke like day after day after day. And you know what? I like to try to lower my tolerance. So if I take like 2-3 days off, that 4th day when I get that blunt, be in the sky. So like I like to kind of do that a little bit every now and then. Give myself some space, breather to lower my tolerance a little bit. But that don't got shit to do with y'all. I hope y'all smoking, rolling up. Peasy got his pipe. And we gonna end it on the motherfucking high note.
We sure are. Here
you know what I'm
saying?
Peasy do the honors, man. Yeah.
You know how we do. I'm sharing these Skreetz.
And it's a
coast to
Rizzy.
coast with this dope, this hope, with this dope, this hope. Sheesh. Wait, is it lit?